due a catch up, Frank. So we'll start with the heavyweight division. See, these purse bids got extended. It's Friday morning now, Friday afternoon. We expect them tonight in Mexico City. What's going on?
I think it will be revealed this evening. I literally can't say anything at the moment. We're still working on things today as we're speaking. So, and I don't think we'll reveal anything, by the way, this evening. But I believe over the weekend we're going to make some progress on where we're all trying to get to. Fingers crossed.
Okay, yeah. There is.
What's good, family? So mash the like button, subscribe, and let off the bell. So we got some breaking news right now as it pertains to Dillian, the shillian shite, and Tyson. Fury's mandatory fight. Now, most of you, man, are aware that there's some funny style negotiations going on. Dillian's got the WBC in court over wanting more than 20%. Tyson Fury is desperate to get in Dillian Whyte's knickers. Yeah, 100%. He's been sending offers for the last month, begging Shillian to get in his nicks for him. So that's the current, or that's been the situation for a while. However, as you've seen by the title, as I've said, we've got some breaking news, and apparently Frank Warren told us in the last 24 hours that the conversation between him and Shillian is heating up, and there is genuinely a large probability this fight will get done. Now, the WBC also posted a statement saying the WBC Boxing has received requests from both sides, Fury and Shillian, to extend the free negotiation period, which has been granted. If there is no agreement, a purse offer ceremony will take place on Wednesday, January 26th. Now, that statement on its own is absolutely meaningless and worthless. Why? Well, people who have been following the situation know genuinely this purse bid has been rescheduled 5 or 6 times, which means the WBC saying that Shillian and Fury have asked for an extension and we've granted it. Some people read into that 4 weeks ago and said, in fact, Sporting Shillicons 4 weeks ago said, look, this proves that Shillian and Fury are going to get a deal done. No, it doesn't. This don't mean nothing. All this means is that Team Eddie Hearn is stretching it out, waiting for their March date, which is what I said. I said a month ago that this there ain't gonna be no purse bid, because Shillian shite is gonna stretch it out until his court thing's done in March. That's when a real thing will be done. That was my base case. However, not because of this WBC announcement, obviously, because the WBC don't mean nothing. All that means is that both teams have asked for an extension, aka they've asked to woof some more. Now, it could be the case that Frank Warren himself is woofing, and for the sake of it, but the vibe I caught from both Eddie Hearn, to a lesser extent, but more so Frank Warren was very interested. He said, within 24 hours, or certainly within the next few days, we should be able to bring you something plentiful. So that's why this video exists. Not because of WBC rescheduling. It don't mean a lick, does it? Because they could reschedule it another 5 times. They've already rescheduled it 5 times already. So, a 6th time, Sporting Shillicons would love you to believe that, look, the 6th time's the lucky charm. No, there ain't no lucky charm. The only lucky charm we've got is the prayer that Frank Warren wasn't gassing the place up. And the reason, again, I'm doing this video is because Frank Warren doesn't have any incentive to lie. Eddie Hearn's team have the incentive to lie. Why? Well, they don't want you, man, to know that, we're going to stretch this out and string you all along with weekly updates. Because essentially, for the last 4 weeks, every week, purse bid, next week, it's next week. And my base case was, Team Hearn are going to do this until March, essentially. Rather than tell the fans, listen, this ain't getting done till March, sit down somewhere and be quiet. They want to keep the name in the fold. Don't forget Fury and AJ negotiations last year. For 6 months, Hearn told us, and what happened? It flopped. Yeah, I'm not blaming Hearn, because obviously Team Fury's team were ultimately responsible, but still, Hearn come out and be honest. And that's one thing I didn't rate. Throughout the whole period, Hearn was not really being full disclosure with the fans. Now, Hearn would argue, well, we couldn't give fans full disclosure because we didn't want to piss people off. Listen, the truth is the truth, people. One of my key principles has been, this is the fight game. But think about it, imagine that. Oh, but I didn't want to piss the other side off. What do you mean you didn't want to piss the other side off? Imagine pissing the other side off in a fight. Do you understand? What does that even mean? If two people want to fight, yeah, there's nothing someone can say. A promoter coming out and saying something, how can that turn someone off? If anything, that should turn the opposition on, shouldn't it? Wow, Eddie Hearn's got a big mouth, I can't wait to fill him in even more. That's the bottom line here, people. And that's why I believe every team should be more open. Because you're only going to expose someone who doesn't want to fight. People who want to fight, there's nothing new in it. Think about it, it's only words. For people who genuinely want to fight, there should be no amount of words that's going to change getting a deal done. Apart from the facts. Now, if the facts are bad, i.e. you're not paying enough money or whatever, that is what it is. But either way, it all should be disclosed. Now, that links back to this situation, because all we get is a whole bunch of murkiness, don't we? My question is, and it's a shame that the interviewing level was super weak. Frank Warren came out and said, oh, well, we got some things maybe in 24 hours and whatever else. And the interviewer just sat there and listened, rather than saying, well, Frank, can you expand? Or, Frank, are you saying Dillian Whyte's likely to deal at 80-20? Little things like that, little massive details. You know what I'm saying? Give us fans more insight into what Frank Warren means by, oh, we got some good news. Do you mean good news as in Dillian's likely to sign at 20%, or some, well, not necessarily specifically the percent, but are you saying categorically Team Fury and Team Shillian Shite are likely to get this fight done within the next week? Bottom line like that. Guess what? The interviewer didn't do nothing like it. The interviewer just sat there, let Frank say, oh, we got something special. For all we know, there's going to probably be a merch announcement. Oh, Tyson and Fury dropping some new merch, or dropping some new crypto. You know what I'm saying? Got a new crypto to sell. One of them ones. That's what normally happens. Because this whole thing, I mean, I don't buy it myself. I can't see how, unless there is a chance. Maybe Shillian has been tuned into the YB, and it's maybe the penny's dropped. Because don't forget, Team Fury were offering 25-ish%. So maybe Shillian's decided finally, after the YB's A1 level management advice, that he should cut his losses and go and make his own destiny at 25 or 30%. Maybe that's the case, and to be honest, that's the only real, or from a optimistic point of view, that would be the only realistic possibility anyway, wouldn't it? Because there's no other way of getting a deal done. If Dillian genuinely wants to wait his chances out, then nothing can happen till March, categorically. The only way something could possibly happen is if Shillian is prepared to accept 25-30%. Because there's no way Fury going to give 40% away for free. I don't believe that. Maybe though, who knows? If that's the case, I'd absolutely salute Fury for being the most thirsty dude to get into Shillian Shite's knickers. But I don't think that's the case. He ain't Moses. Yeah. And I'm not blaming it. I think rightfully so. As I've said before, Fury has already done that. He's already fought Vlad for 25%, sorry. When you go in there and you fight for the 25%, you've already set the precedent. We know you'd do that for your shot. And in fact, Fury was grateful for his shot. He thought that Vlad would duck him. And that's all we asked for, really, to be honest with you. Shillian's, and for a long time, I was a Shillian fan myself, because he was saying he wanted a shot, and I backed him for that shot. He got the shot and he killed the whole vibe, he killed the whole movement. Talking about moving the goalposts, talking about what he deserves. In this game and in life in general, and that's the thing, I don't need to tell Dillian this, he knows it better than most. And that's why I'm so disappointed and so shocked. But in this game and in life, you don't get nothing for free. You don't deserve nothing. What makes you think you deserve something? Oh, I deserve 45%. Based on what? Because guess what? It ain't based on numbers. And in fact, that's one thing Frank Warren absolutely rinsed Dillian Whyte about the whole 300k situation. Frank Warren said, listen, if Dillian didn't disclose more than 300k, he needs to go back and pay the WBC their money for the extra he got. Oops. Yeah? It's all well and good Shillian and Eddie Hearn thinking they're smart. Well, you can't work both ways. If Tyson Fury paid and disclosed 20 million and he's paid for it, why should he now be penalised because Shillian Shite decided to be smart and not pay less sanctioning fees? Tyson Fury, assuming what we know to be, or assuming what's been said to be the actual facts, Tyson Fury is paid 20 million worth of commissions to the WBC. Shillian has paid 300 grand worth of commissions. So how can that work out? You want the WBC to take sides with a man who essentially tax evades them. Oops, don't make no sense. That's even more of an argument, and it's not actually, when you think about it, it's no surprise that really the WBC have been taking sides with Tyson Fury if, for the longest time, Fury's been disclosing real numbers and Shillian Shite has been trying to be smart about things. Is it? You don't get, I mean, is it a big shock? Oh, wait a minute, Shillian is on some, Shillian's on some Luxembourg tax scam, and Tyson Fury full disclosure, and you want the WBC to do you a favour. Get real, people. Money is what makes the world go round. And you can't have it both ways. If you try and be tight, if you try and be smart, you get tight and smart results. And that's how the WBC have treated Dillian. Tight and smart. Yeah? Anyway, I hope this fight gets done. I hope these hints from Frank, again, it's a shame the media don't do their proper job and ask a real question, or try and at least get to the bottom of this. I hope there is some end in the next week, but honestly, I'm gonna stick with my base case. And my base case is, and has been, this ain't getting resolved until the court case. Maybe doves will fly, who knows? I just don't see it myself. I can't see it. That said, what we do know is the YB's a fair man, and if Shillian does a 180 and sees the light and takes the YB's free A1 management advice and signs at some lesser percentage, 25-30%, he'll get respect for that. Now, I'm not going to turn into Dean Whyte, because I can't. That'll be the sad thing, is the fact that, not that he cares about my opinion, but it's a shame. I represent a lot of the casual people. A lot of the casual people were hyped for Dillian based on his vibe and his history. That's now, I'm sorry, it's changed. It's gone from being about, I want to get in Fury's backside, to, well, I want to get in Fury's backside for a certain amount of coins. Yeah? You might know me, but way back when in 2013 I was a huge Fury fan, and part of the reason for that was because Fury was desperate to get in Vlad's knickers. That's the rawness most casual fans are attracted to. Same as Conor McTapper. Initially, he was desperate just to get his shot. He wanted anyone, anywhere. And the thing is, what's actually been proven over time is, when you go in there and you have the attitude, the coins come. Don't chase the coins first. Do the hard work. Do the performances. The coins will come. That's what Lennox Lewis said. Become the champion. Then you call the shots. But in 2021, when everyone gets a medal, people try and do things back to front. Shillian wants to be paid as a champion before he's beat anyone. Or before he's beat the champion. How does that make sense, people? You want Dillian Whyte to be paid as a champion, and he ain't beat the champion. I don't know how that works. Don't make no sense. Oh, but you see, things that happened 3 years ago. Listen, if Dillian had grievances, if Shillian Shite had grievances from 3 years ago, he should have filed a case 3 years ago. Oops. Yeah, but let's see how it plays out. No doubt.